Rajdeep, how significant is the Chidambaram tweet? You and I have both tracked the former finance minister's politics for long. He's been privately unhappy and has had his reservations, never voiced them so far. He wasn't part of the G23 despite being approached to lend his weight. He said, I want to stay away from it. Now he's saying the only safe harbor is silence. He's unhappy with the lack of meaningful discussions in party forums.
Rahul, you've put it succinctly. I even spoke to Mr. Chidambaram a few minutes ago as I was coming into the studio, wondering if he would join us on the show. He said, I have said what I have to. I will now maintain my silence. But I think in the statement that he has made, he has sent out a strong message that there is a sense of unease, bordering on unhappiness, discomfort with the way things are unraveling in the party. I think the manner in which Congress workers came to Kapil Sibal's house, it's one thing to protest, it's another thing to virtually resort to some element of hooliganism as it was suggested, and that no one within the party, officially within the party, was seen to be standing by Kapil Sibal. Instead, Kapil Sibal was targeted. So I think Mr. Chidambaram felt that this was a moment where you need to resolve conflicts rather than exacerbate them. And I think that really is the core issue, Rahul. We've seen it in Punjab, we are seeing it in other states. The absence of an institutional mechanism, or dare I say individual like Ahmed Patel, who used to be in a position to at least heal the cracks, to reduce the divides. The Congress has always been a party of factions, but the factions found a way to manage. There was faction management, particularly before an election, for example. But now what you're seeing is that gradually it's reaching the stage of almost a chaotic condition where no one knows who's really in charge of managing conflict. And I think that's what Mr. Chidambaram is alluding to. And there's an element of frustration. The problem is none of these leaders on their own also can claim to be mass leaders. So you've got Rahul Gandhi,
who's hardly a mass leader himself,
who's the has the power without the responsibility or the accountability on one side, and you've got leaders who are critical of his style of functioning, but who cannot at this moment summon up the gumption to break with the Congress because they are unsure of their own position. But inevitably, I see this leading to some kind of a breakup. This cannot continue.
You think a split in the Congress is inevitable?
I think a split in the Congress sooner or later.
Who'll split and break away?
Look, I think eventually there will be an individual or a catalyst from outside, possibly the wider Congress parivar. You're seeing the kind of statements that Mamata Banerjee and her nephew Abhishek Banerjee are making, that the Congress is in no position to take up this fight. You're seeing Sharad Pawar telling us in an interview last month that the Congress cannot be run like a zamindari. You're seeing voices outside also. Now, these are strong regional leaders. My sense is the 2022 elections early next year are critical. If the Congress cannot do well in those elections...
It won't. Where will it do well? Uttar Pradesh, it has no chance. Goa, it has very little chance.
But the irony is...
Punjab, now they're fighting every day.
Rahul, you're right. But the irony is, except for Uttar Pradesh, in all the 4 states, the Congress is the principal adversary or is in power. In Punjab, in power. In the other 3 states, it's the principal adversary to the BJP. It's a great opportunity. Now, the Congress has never lost an opportunity to lose an opportunity in the last few years. And if they lose this opportunity, I think there are enough people now who are seemingly frustrated with the lack of direction within the party to eventually want to break away. Rahul Gandhi has a clear choice. Either he takes over now.
What's he thinking?
And proves him, no, he can take over. He can become the president.
Why is he not doing that? It's the most obvious thing to do.
Yeah, but you see, I think Rahul Gandhi feels that he wants to play the role of a mentor and wants to effect a generational change.
But mentor, who wants him as mentor?
No, 1 minute. Where I will say he wants to effect a generational change. That, a new guard in his vision, people more committed, as he says, to fight the BJP, RSS, all very well. But when you want those foot soldiers, they want the general to lead from the front, not just, by taking on Modi, but actually taking responsibility. So if Rahul Gandhi takes up party presidentship, then there is a possibility that people will even now be willing to give him within the Congress the benefit of the doubt. Should he continue in this way, where someone else is being held accountable for decisions that are actually taken by him, as in Punjab, where a Harish Rawat tomorrow could be held accountable, then sooner or later congressmen are going to say enough is enough. And because there is no decision-making apparatus that is actually working in an institutionalized manner. Ad hoc decision making is being taken. No Congress working committee meetings are held. I think people are going to say enough is enough. This is rudderless at the moment.
So, Rajdeep Sardesai predicting an inevitable split in the Congress, Javed Ansari, is that a sense that you share?